Morning to everyone here in the Dharma Hall and online with us today. My name is Joanne, and my Dharma name is Wan Juan. That means, in Korean, peacefully commanding the self and upholding Dharma and Sangha. Okay, we're going to start. Okay. Good morning, everyone, here in the Dharma Hall and online. My name is Joanne, and my Dharma name is Wan Juan, which means peacefully commanding the self and upholding Dharma and Sangha. Welcome to our special Self-Transformation Day service, which highlights the foundational spirit of Wan Buddhism, selfless service to all sentient beings. Today, three temple friends, Irene Sadler, Christine Donovan Ball, and Jen Robinson, are receiving their Dharma names. Last year, sitting in this hall with my three Dharma sisters as we began our journey into self-transformation, I was both excited and anxious. As we bowed while accepting the 10 precepts and prayed together as a group, I did feel transformed and ready to commit to a deeper practice of Wan Buddhism. An important teaching in Wan Buddhism that is important to my practice and I think is relevant today is that we are encouraged to know, nurture, and use our minds, which are perfect and complete, utterly impartial, and selfless like Il-Wan San. To be encouraged to learn and ask questions for a deeper understanding of Dharma is a joyful freedom. One of the added benefits of receiving a Dharma name is joining other Dharma name holders or Kuwadan monthly to check in about each other's lives and practices. There is satisfaction in asking questions and discussing Dharma, and especially sharing our daily practices. My personal practice is strengthened by the words and caring of my Kuwadan family. Irene, Christine, and Jen, I'm so pleased that you have chosen to receive a Dharma name today. As you continue your study and practice of Wan Buddhism. This is not an honorific title. Instead, it signifies your willingness to continue your spiritual journey while deepening your understanding of Wan Buddhism. We welcome each of you as we journey along the middle way together. Now, let us take time to adjust our seats and settle in for some gentle music.
Yangju, page 4. Yangju, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Masayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Masayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam, Chanji Yangi Ashimjam, Mansayo E Ashimdom, Chanji O Adong Yeche, Ayo Chanji Dong Shimjam.
Palms together. Prayer for Self-Transformation Day. Grace of sky and earth, grace of parents, grace of fellow beings and community, grace of laws of harmony and justice. O Dharmakaya Buddha fourfold grace, today we observe a historical moment in Won Buddhism. We celebrate the anniversary of the self-transformation of Sotaesan's first 9 disciples in 1919. We thank the 9 founding fathers of Won Buddhism for their dedication and devotion. We honor their heart-to-heart connection with the Sotaesan's great vision. A willingness to dedicate ourselves fully without any hesitation to the Dharma and to all sentient beings is their legacy, the founding spirit of Won Buddhism. This historical anniversary in August reawakens our spirits to transcend our small individual selves into greater selves. With a vow to serve all beings, may our flowers of selfless service bloom and bear fruit. May our self-serving minds and egoistic desires be transformed and be united with the light of Will One. With the power of this Sangha community, may we rededicate ourselves to our threefold practice, the practice of cultivating equanimity, inquiry, and mindful choice in action. Today, we celebrate Jen Robinson, Christine Donovan Ball, and Irene Sadler, who are receiving Dharma names. Bless their open, willing hearts to receive the guidance of teachers and sages. Bless their practice. May their spirit of commitment today deeply nourish them through their journeys of liberation. May Christine, Irene, and Jen embody the meaning of their Dharma names and attain Buddhahood. This we pray with one mind and one heart. Page 9. Page 9. 일원 성방. Ilwan is the realm of samadhi beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being, the origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, the true nature of all Buddhas, enlightened masters, unenlightened people, and sentient beings. Ilwan manifests as both permanence and impermanence, viewed as permanence. Ilwan unfolds into an infinite world that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is. Viewed as impermanence, Ilwan unfolds into infinite worlds through the cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and the birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies. In the four forms of birth, we transform through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing, with grace arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Ilwan Sangha Dharmakaya Buddha, by cultivating our minds and bodies deeply, knowing human affairs and universal principles thoroughly, and using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather than harm, until we attain the great empowerment of Ilwan and become one with the nature of Ilwan. Today we hired special actors and actresses to tell us the story about what does mean by Self-Transformation Day. what happened really historically in the early stage in Won Buddhism. So please welcome Lara, Drew, Michael, and John. That we're gonna borrow their pretty handsome voice, and you can just visualize, imagine all the scenic views. So let's take us all together to the historical side in Korea as we listen to this storytelling.
Won Buddhism began in Korea in the early 1900s. At that time, Korea was a poor country with few resources, and as a mountainous country, any extra piece of land that could be used for farming was of great value. In those years, Korea had been colonized by Japan. It was a politically sensitive time, and many people were exploited and felt hopeless. Food and resources were scarce. In the midst of this, Sotaesan achieved his great enlightenment in 1916. 2 years later, Sotaesan directed a levee project to fill in an ocean marsh to create more land for food production and farming. This project modeled his teaching motto:
Body and mind come together, truth and life work together.
To fund this levee project, Sotaesan's followers practiced thrift and diligence by setting up a savings association. One way that Sotaesan helped the community save money was by encouraging the practitioners to stop smoking tobacco. Through this effort, a seed fund was created. When enough funds were gathered, Sotaesan and his followers dug a dike and created an embankment that protected a stretch of land from the sea. In the early 1900s, there were no bulldozers or bobcats, and creating such a large dike solely by hand and with wheelbarrows seemed impossible. Many people in the village ridiculed the project. Nonetheless, Sotaesan's followers had faith in their teacher, and they willingly did hard physical labor, carrying mountains of dirt. With Sotaesan's great leadership, the levee project was completed in 1919. The 23 newly created acres of fertile land provided food and funds for the initial stage of Won Buddhism's development. After finishing the levee project, Master Sotaesan selected his 9 most faithful followers and guided them to pray in the mountains for the deliverance of all human beings from suffering.
These days, material and technological advancement grows daily with immense power, while the human spirit that should be making use of material things has steadily weakened. Due to this, there is no peace of mind in the world. Please pray that human beings may become free from suffering and not controlled by material power. Your mind is the mind of heaven. If you deeply concentrate and are completely free of selfishness, you will move the heavens and your prayers will be answered.
Following Sotaesan's guidance, the 9 disciples regularly hiked to the tops of 9 mountains. They prayed for human beings to become masters of mind and body, instead of being enslaved by material power. The disciples prayed every day with single-mindedness. After 100 days, on August 21st, 1919, Sotaesan and his disciples sat down in a circle. A bowl of water was placed in the center to symbolize pure mind and heart.
You have been consistently praying, but I don't see any signs that your prayers have been heard. Please check within yourself to see whether your prayers have been completely sincere and focused, without distraction from any worries or attachments. Let me ask you, are you willing to sacrifice everything for the deliverance of all suffering beings? Are you willing to manifest your prayer into action, even at the cost of your own life?
Dear teacher, it is a great honor for us to dedicate our lives to saving the many people who are suffering. We are overwhelmed that you have chosen us and that you trust us.
This is a critical moment, not just for our community or even all of Korea, but for humanity. I have asked you if you are willing to sacrifice your lives, and you have said yes. Are you sure?
Up to that time in Korea, the willing sacrifice of one's life was considered a highly honorable and deeply poignant way of expressing dedication to an important cause. However, one of the disciples voiced concern.
Dear teacher, even though I am willing to sacrifice my life, I'm worried about my elderly mother, who would be left alone.
And the youngest disciple, Chongsan, said,
My primary concern is for you, dear teacher. I fear that you might have to endure backlash from those who do not understand why you have asked us to sacrifice our lives.
Your concerns are understandable. Don't worry about me. As for your mother, the community will take care of her. Please understand that humanity's future is at stake.
Dear teacher, now we are ready to dedicate our lives without hesitation or worry.
Then here is a piece of paper with each of your names. In demonstration of your wholehearted devotion and sincerity, now put your thumbprint under your name.
Teacher, there is no ink for us to use.
Why don't you just use the water in the bowl?
To show their resolve, each disciple dipped his thumb into the water and pressed it onto the paper. Then, with deep sincerity and commitment, they all stood up, ready to head to the mountains to surrender their lives. As they did so, Sotasan noticed that the thumbprints had turned red. With excitement, he told the disciples to wait.
Come and look. Your thumbprints have turned as red as blood. The sincerity of your belief and the intensity of your commitment have moved the divine spirits of heaven and earth. As of this moment, you have fully dedicated yourselves to selfless service for the world. Therefore, whenever in the future you are carrying out your work, despite all hardships and mortal dangers, do not allow your conviction of today to fade.
The 9 disciples were overjoyed. Their faces shone with the light of liberation and the realization of what had happened. Sotasan then took the paper in hand, the evidence of their single heart and mind.
This is a sign of approval from heaven and earth.
Sotasan then burned the paper as an offering of deep gratitude. Turning toward the disciples, he gave each of them their Dharma names and honorary titles as symbols that their individual selves had died and that their greater selves had been born. Since then, some people have questioned whether the thumbprints actually turned red. But the real miracle was the deep commitment and dedication of those first 9 disciples. This is what we celebrate today.
Dharmakaya Buddha, Fourfold Grace. I, Chen Robertson, devote myself to cultivating a new mind, body, and spirit. Please watch over and bless my Dharma path through gratitude practice and threefold study. I understand that my new Dharma name signifies my renewed commitment as a sincere non-Buddhist practitioner. May my practice remain heartfelt and consistent, regardless of the conditions and changes in my life. May I be open and willing to receive guidance from teachers and sages, trusting their support for my spiritual growth. May I embody the meaning of my Dharma name. May I transform self-serving mind into a mind of heart service to others. May I realize I am one with the nature of Ilwan. Now, with a beginner's mind, I wholeheartedly receive the first 10 precepts.
Ten precepts for the ordinary grade. Number 1, do not kill without due cause. Number 2, do not steal. Number 3, do not commit sexual misconduct. Number 4, do not consume intoxicants without due cause. Number 5, do not gamble or play idle games. Number 6, do not use harsh speech. Number 7, do not fight without due cause. Number 8, do not embezzle public funds. Number 9, do not borrow or lend money between close friends without due cause. Number 10, do not smoke tobacco without due cause.
Please come. Stand here. Your Dharma name is Che-He, which means great soul who brings hope. Jen Robinson, congratulations. Your Dharma name is Che-He, great soul who brings hope. Everybody, please say Che-He. Che-He. Congratulations, Che-He. Christine. Christine Donovan Ball. Your Dharma name is Wan To Pan, which means journeying together with the Tao of Il One. Journeying together with the Tao of Il One. Christine Donovan Ball, congratulations. Your Dharma name is Wan To Pan. Everybody? Wan To Pan. Congratulations. Irene Sadler. Your Dharma name is Wan Seroum. Wan Seroum means renewed spirit within the wellspring of Il One. Renewed spirit within the wellspring of Il One. Wan Seroum. Irene Sadler, congratulations. Your Dharma name is Wan Seroum. Wan Seroum. And Wan Seroum, you're going to give a talk first. Let me hold the flower.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
My origin story as a Buddhism practitioner. I have a volume of scripture that is written without paper or ink. It does not contain a single word, yet always radiates light. What does this mean? This koan was repeated often at the annual week-long retreats. It is simple and profound. I appreciate it as I have always been inspired by nature, beauty, and meaningful moments. A meaningful moment for me was at the musical performance last year, the Sound Bath. The temple reverends sang the word Mugunghwa from the Songju chant. They sang it in such a profoundly meaningful way, accompanied by singing bowls, chimes, and maybe even a didgeridoo. The powerful sound reminded me of how a singing bowl starts out slow and quiet and broadens into a powerful reckoning force that stirs the soul and commands one's attention. It felt peaceful, and I was awestruck and inspired. I thought to myself that Mugunghwa must be an important word, but hadn't I heard it somewhere before? Then I remembered it was the name of the train my family would often take in South Korea. It connected our town to Seoul. Later, I asked my husband if he remembered, and he said, of course, the trusty Mugunghwa. We have very fond memories of our time working abroad there. I looked up the meaning of the word, and Mugunghwa means everlasting heavenly flower. As a horticulturalist, I was excited to see it was specifically Rose of Sharon, or hibiscus. I knew Rose of Sharon as a tough shrub with beautiful periwinkle flowers. I own one hibiscus. It was a volunteer growing in as a weed. Before I knew it was the national flower of South Korea, I dug it out of my garden to compost, but decided to transplant it somewhere it would have more room to grow instead. I planted it shallowly in the moist shade, thinking it was a tough enough plant to take my bad planting job, as well as the shade of the forest. I hoped the moist soil there would keep it alive. In the subsequent years, the shrub was well loved by the deer. They ate all the leaves off of it repeatedly. I thought it was dead for some time, but saw that it had persisted through all of these years of neglect.
Although it has not flowered in the shade, it still has potential. If I move it into the sun and protect it from the deer, it could be beautiful. If I meditate and spend time with gentle people at a peaceful temple, could my mind and heart reach for the sun and flower towards enlightenment? If I protect my mind and plant myself on the right path, could my existence feel as beautiful as an everlasting, heavenly Mugunghwa flower? I first came to this temple in 2007, but much like my Rose of Sharon, my practice was neglected as I adventurously explored the world, entertained career opportunities, and started a family. In my time with Wollongong, I have felt the most peace at the week-long retreats in upstate New York. Although I often ache for the comfort and familiarity of my family there, my mind is more still and serene, a feeling that feels more important than anything else. Although we don't talk much at the retreats, by the end of the week, my spirit feels connected to everyone there like we're family too. At these retreats, I learned to apply the focus developed at my previous 10-day Vipassana retreats to what the Red Book calls the elixir field, otherwise known as the Tanchen and sacral chakra. Focusing here calms me down as the vagus nerve endings are located here. When I meditate, just as Wollongong says, focusing on my Tanchen with as much of a smile as I have in me that day, I feel my spirit blossom. Grappling with difficult feelings in the wake of my father's death, I wonder sometimes if I am peaceful enough to receive a Dharma name. I hope that as I continue on the right path, with the quiet support of my fellow Sangha members, we can open our hearts to a greater state and way of being. As one flower closes and returns to the earth, another opens to the world. May we all recognize and honor the light in each other.
Thank you, Irene. 1-0. Thank you. Now, Christine Wondoban, please come forward, share your reflection and journey.
Good morning. Forgive me if I'm a little bit weepy. I'm so full of gratitude. I used to be so much more of a mess than I am now. And if you don't believe me, just ask my husband. Flashback 10 years ago, I'm falling in love with a vegetable farmer in Rougemont, driving down Old 86 to my job in Scarborough, curiously checking out the temple as I drove by, just looking in. At the time, a self-described mystic, I spent a lot of time scribbling in journals, using a circle instead of the word God, which I struggled to use at the time. So imagine my surprise when I walked in, finally, and saw the circle here. The world can be a lonely place for a mystic, though I found a lot of comfort in the old texts and poems. The message of the mystics across all spiritual traditions might be distilled to the experience of love. Love. A word we overuse, we throw around a lot. We think we understand. We make countless movies about it, write endless poems about it, and compose song after song about it. All you need is love. Da, 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 da. All you need is love. 10 years ago, I was quite sure I knew what love was. I had felt it in the Holy Spirit and Christ of my youth, in the majesty of the natural world, and in the union with my beautiful partner. But My mind was a welcome home to delusions that brought me anywhere but love. My perceptions were mired in judgments that pulled me far from love. My heart was so full of fear and anxiety that their icy fingers froze what was left of love, while deep attachments and aversions forgot all about love. It's a beautiful message to love your neighbor as yourself. It's a message we all know. Though, in this confounding world, our fragile minds and hearts are so burdened by delusions, judgments, fears, anxiety, and attachments that there's so little space left for love. And as much as we tell ourselves not to be afraid, to stop judging, to just calm down, we haven't the faintest idea how. What these teachings have done for me, what the Buddha Dharma, as expressed so simply and clearly by Master Sotaesan, has done for me, is to give me the tools I need, has given me a how-to guide, and shown me the path to a place of stillness, emptiness, a place quiet enough that I can hear the voice of the beloved, the place where love is. Beyond the teachings, this place has given me a teacher that I trust, with vast knowledge of the Buddha Dharma, a loving heart, and the humility of a true sister. This place has given me a community of open hearts, working diligently to live according to their true nature, to live from love. I am honored to receive a Dharma name. And I think about the commitment, kind of like marriage. When I looked at my husband, I thought, do I want to be more like this person? And I do. And when I look around at all of you, I ask myself, do I want to be more like these people? And I really do. In so many other spiritual traditions or churches, I feel like I would be called a heretic. But here I'm welcomed with open arms in a tradition that is so open to Dharma coming from everywhere. I feel like I could have Jesus and Buddha by my side as brothers. The Sufi poets can do their whirling dervish in the middle of the temple. The ancient Vedas can express their beauty all together. And so, to these teachings, this practice, this teacher, this Sangha, I bow in deep gratitude.
Thank you, Christine Wandoban. Now, Jen Hee, please welcome Jay's reflection and sharing.
Okay. On February 2nd, 2021, my rheumatologist confirmed what I'd been worrying over since the previous September. I did, in fact, have an autoimmune condition. Actually, I had two. In the blur of conversation that followed, he listed things I should do to help ease my symptoms, along with my new medications: a healthy diet, less sugar, regular exercise, all things I expected. But when he also suggested meditation, I was caught off guard, but willing to do anything to find relief. I've always been spiritual, and I've tried meditation off and on throughout my life, but I had never been able to develop a steady practice. So I downloaded the apps, I read books on meditation, but I still struggled to find consistency. One of the books I read mentioned finding a meditation center, and a quick Google search led me to the Won Buddhism of North Carolina website. A few weeks later, I attended my first Sunday meditation right here in this hall. Needless to say, I was hooked. For a little background, I am a part of a military family, and I grew up traveling overseas and experiencing cultures from around the world. In that time, I was fortunate enough to learn about different religions and participate in different practices. And with each experience, I felt like I was searching for something. Not necessarily answers to life's great questions, but an alignment with my ideals, values, and inner voice. Won Buddhism's openness to questions, its emphasis on gratitude, and its willingness to change with the times is what originally drew me to learning more about and becoming a part of its family. And in these past 3 years, I have found more here than a steady meditation practice. I have gained many friends through the Thursday morning Dharma study group. I always enjoy our wide variety and depths of our conversations and the wisdom shared in that space. Sunday evening at the Raleigh Temple is an open and relaxed meditation session with more Dharma conversation and a chance to mentally reset for my week ahead. And with each encounter and meditation, I felt more sure in my decision to continue practicing and studying the Won Buddhist scriptures. Receiving a Dharma name just seemed like the next logical step on the path. It's a recognition of the commitment I've made to myself to continue practicing, to continue questioning, and to continue contemplating the different aspects of life. So much of my life has changed since that day in my rheumatologist's office, most of it for the better. And I am immensely grateful for the events that led me here to this temple and to the people it's brought into my life. I look forward to deepening my practice, not only for my well-being, but for my renewed spirit as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen, Jae-hee. Now, our Dharma sisters, please stand up, come here with your flowers, and give them a big applause of a blessing. Stay right here. You look very, very beautiful. Your flowers are very beautiful, but not as beautiful as your spirit today. Thank you so much for your very powerful, beautiful, personal, and true stories to share with us. Reverend Sean, and I'm supposed to sing, but I cannot find the Reverend Sean. You guys can sit down here, relax here. Now, pop quiz. What's Irene's Dharma name? Yes, 새로움. So the 새로움 is total pure Korean language. It doesn't have a Chinese character. So 새로움 means like a renewed, new. And so it's one of the kind of a well-received, some Korean people have this name because it's 새롬, but then you together, 새로움. So her name is 원새로움. What about Jen? Jen, show your face a little bit. Yeah. What's Jen's Dharma name? Jen, Jehi. And our Christian's Dharma name? Topan. Okay, now you say your name, Irene. 원새로움. Everybody? 원새로움. Jen? Together? 제희. Christine? 도반. Are we ready to sing? This is the song that we do for the naming ceremony blessing song. If you like to receive a Dharma name, next August, please let us know. Next year, August.
어두운 길, 괴로운 길 헤매이다가 슬거이 법문에 들었나이다. 이 몸이 보살되고 부처되도록 나갈 뿐 물러서지 말게 하소서. 이 몸이 보살되고 부처되도록 나갈 뿐 물러서지 말게 하소서. I was lost on a dark road, a road of suffering. Now, I'm entering this Dharma path with sublime joy. I devote my body and mind wholeheartedly to the community and the world, until my body becomes that of Bodhisattva and a Buddha. May I only move forward and not regress on this path. 이 한 몸, 이 한 마음 온통 받들어 이 외상 이 공도에 바치나이다. 이로부터 끊임없이 이 법륜 따라 내가 아직 크신 은혜 갚게 하소서. 이로부터 끊임없이 이 법륜 따라 내가 아직 크신 은혜 갚게 하소서.
on receiving your Dharma names today. May your names be beautiful tools and blessings for your practice. And happy Transformation Day to everyone. And thank you all for practicing with us today. On your way out, you can see the beautiful artwork that the children have been working on, which is on the theme of light. They've been busy in the residence while we were here in the Dharma Hall, so check that out. There's another opportunity to practice this afternoon at 4 o'clock. You can come join us at our Raleigh Temple, which is nestled in the forest of North Raleigh, and practice with guided meditation and letting go of our egoistic selves. Our temple has a weekly rhythm. Besides the weekend services and gatherings, we have a Tuesday evening meditation. And every Wednesday morning, we have a decluttering meditation, which is online. And every Thursday, we have scripture study sessions in the morning at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. And all are welcome to join any of these activities. By being in our community email group, you will receive updates and Zoom links about all these programs. Now, let us turn to page 13 and bless each other with our morning prayer song.
Oh, sorry.
Buddha, full for grace, I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dhammakaya Buddha, full grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dhammakaya Buddha, full grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one all. Thank you all to make today's celebration very special. Lots of gratitude to especially volunteer friends Carol and Joanne, who are preparing wonderful snack outside and refreshment. Also beautiful flowers from Bob Brown, Ligon, and also in honor of Irene's father, Jim Sadler. We have beautiful flowers today. And Kathleen made a beautiful bouquet for our friends. And many friends always who do come early this morning, like at 9 a.m. for the rehearsal for this lovely program for both in person and online. So we say thank you in Korean like this. 감사합니다. 감사합니다. And waving hands to online friends. 감사합니다. See you next week. Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before years ago, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy? This joy. It springs to us from years ago. It springs to us from years ago. 우리를 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이루 만남 두다 무슨 일고 말없이 마주 앉은 정이 삼천여로 더듬네 우리를 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이를 만남 두다 말없이 Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before years ago, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy, It springs to us from years ago. It springs to us from years ago. 우리를 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이루 만남 두다 무슨 일고 말없이 마주 앉은 정이 삼천여로 Are we not meant to meet again, to walk as one upon the path? We met before, years ago, like this, like this. Our deep Dharma bond goes back 3,000 years. This is the reunion we have been longing for. Now we sit beside each other without words. Do you not feel this joy, this joy? It springs to us from years ago. It springs to us from years ago. 우리 주 영산 외상 운영수제 아니던가 오래 두고 그러던 이루 만남 두다 무슨 일고 말없이